small boats. That really annoys our readers, members here, I'm sure. Why can't you stop the small boats coming?
It's a deeply entrenched and complex problem. That's a simple answer. And I would love to be here saying, well, claiming victory. I would love to be having a front page of the Telegraph with a plane taking off to Rwanda. That's my dream. That's my dream. It's
when
my
will
obsession.
That happen?
When will it happen? Listen, you've got to ask the courts about
By
that.
Christmas?
That would be amazing, but if I'm honest, I think it's going to take long. I think, we've got to come out of the legal dispute that we are currently embroiled in. So the High Court, we're still at first instance. Yeah. The High Court is due to give a judgment later this month. If we win, that will be appealed. So then we'll have to wait for the Court of Appeal to adjudicate. That will take a few more months. If we win there, that will be appealed again.
To the European Court of Human Rights? Or
the Supreme Court. We've still got to exhaust domestic remedies. And then, even if we win the Supreme Court, no doubt there'll be a claim at Strasbourg. So, unfortunately, we've got to let that play out. But, I was looking recently at the records of past Home Secretaries, and they've all, probably without exception, had indelible frustrations with the European Court of Human Rights. It took 12 years to remove Abu Qatada, the Islamist cleric. You'll remember. Overruled in English courts and then overruled by Strasbourg, and it was Theresa May who finally succeeded. So, this is not a new problem. What I did take away from my conversation with Gérard Darmanin a few weeks ago was that they want to solve this. It is a blight on their Pas-de-Calais region. It's ruining communities. The mainly Albanian people who are coming are not asylum seekers. They are criminal gangs. They are bringing criminality to that region. The Front National is gaining support on the back of this issue alone. So politically and from a criminal justice point of view, they do want to fix it. We've got a joint interest. We both want to, I would go to France very soon to meet Gérard in person to talk about this. And, we've talked about possibly working more closely with the Albanians. I know he's very keen to do that. And also with other countries. We're not the only country dealing with it. The Belgians are grappling with this. The Danes, and the Danes just reached a similar agreement with Rwanda. We can all work together. We need to pass some legislation to ensure that measures from the Strasbourg court don't have that effect in the United Kingdom.
Just move on to crime.
And I would just say, finally, a really important point, which I need to start talking about more, is modern slavery. Now, modern slavery has been a proud achievement of this government. We're one of the first countries in the world to start fighting this scourge. But the truth is that the modern slavery laws that we put in place are being abused and exploited by the people coming across on the boat. So they're coming across, and funnily enough, after they've consulted a lawyer, will put in their claim for modern slavery. That's regardless of the fact they may have paid to come across. That's regardless of the fact they may have actively sought to come here across the channel and take a dangerous journey. And that's regardless of the fact that they're coming from a relatively safe country like Albania. So it's being abused, and it's currently the main blocker to removal of illegal migration. And worse than that, our modern slavery rules are being abused by convicted criminals. So, people who have served their sentences for murder, drug supplying, paedophilia, are, on the point of they finish their sentence, we want to deport them, they claim modern slavery, and they are then, allowed to stay in this country again. So we need to change the law to ensure that abuse cannot carry on. For me, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, I voted and campaigned for Brexit for sovereignty, but also because I wanted to reduce migration. And for a whole host of reasons. There are structural pressures that mass and rapid migration poses to our country on housing supply, on house prices, on the number of GP places, on school places, we are dealing with more and more people. And I think it's fair and reasonable, in fact, incumbent on a government to take a rational and pragmatic view on the numbers of people coming into this country. So yes, I still stand by the Brexit promise and by our 2019 manifesto pledge to reduce overall numbers on migration. And that's my very, very firmly held view. Student visas in the last 12 months, they went up 72%. So I think we've seen massive increases in the number of work visas issued and the number of students, and plus their dependents. So that's where the increases come from. I think we need to look more closely at the kinds of workers who are coming into this country. If we frankly have too many low-skilled workers coming into this country, I think we need to focus on bringing high-skilled workers in and reduce the number of low-skilled. I think we have too many students coming into this country who are propping up, frankly, substandard courses in inadequate institutions. You can get a student visa and you can bring family members. We're seeing quite a large number of students bringing family members. I would say, if you're coming here for an undergraduate degree, is it justifiable that you bring your family members? No. If you're coming here on low-skilled work on a temporary visa, is it justified that you bring your family members in? No. I would say if you're here on highly skilled work for a long period of time, then yes, there might be an argument. So these are levers open to us.
It's tightening up the ratchet on some.
I think we can take a smart approach. Yes, let's support our farming sector. But equally, I think is also, when it comes, we get a lot of special pleading in this debate. The farmers come and say, oh, well, we can't recruit locally. The British people are lazy. They don't want to work in the fields. We get business coming and saying, well, who's going to be my, my shop assistant?
Would you say try harder to find the Brits?
Yes, exactly. And I think if we're going to help them with migration, we have to make it incumbent on them, on farming, to innovate, industrialise, and use technology to reduce the requirement and their reliance on cheap foreign workers.
Your parents are from Mauritius and Kenya. How do you feel about stopping other people arriving here?
I have no qualms about that, absolutely. And again, this is a kind of a common argument trotted out by the left that, because of the colour of my skin and my heritage, I have to think a certain way and I can't declare certain truths on migration.
You annoy them, don't you? Because you're not left-wing.
I hope I annoy them. That would be my delight if I'm annoying the left. But no, I disagree with that. My parents came here through safe and legal routes. My mother was recruited by the NHS. My dad came here because he was effectively kicked out of Kenya in the 1960s. But they came here legitimately. That was the policy of the government. They came here, they integrated, they loved this country from afar as children of empire. They don't, by the way, have any qualms about extolling the virtues of the British Empire. It was the British Empire that brought infrastructure, the legal system, the civil service, the military to countries like Mauritius and Kenya. And my parents are so proud. On my mum's side there, I think it's her great uncle and auntie fought with the Allies in World War II, and they were so proud of that. So I think, children of empire, there's obviously a mixed picture, and obviously there are bad things about empire. But
history is complex.
History is complex and nuanced, and I'm not going to apologise for empire. I'm not going to apologise for our past. History
Should we be proud of empire? Should we be prouder?
I am proud of the British Empire.
Yeah,
yes. We can go for growth and we can get overall migration down. It's the type of migration. So that's why focusing on highly skilled workers. So, if there are sectors where there are acute shortages, we do have a shortage of broadband engineers in this country. We want to get is it the microfiber? No, fiber. There we go, you see. Don't ask me about IT.
Yes.
And
it's infrastructure.
Exactly, the infrastructure, the techno stuff.
Okay.
We need techno geeks in this country. Let's bring them in. If we legitimately can't find them in this country, yes, let's try domestically. I think that will contribute to growth.